Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper, and welcome to Prime Time today. I have a fun technique to share with you today, and I'm using the new, oh goodness, what's it called? I keep forgetting. I always want to say the truck bundle, and everyone knows what I'm talking about, but it's also actually called Trucking Along. So let's take a look. Here is the stamp set, and you can see, yeah, I'm zoomed in quite a lot. It's got lots of things to put in the truck. Trees, sunflowers, presents, plants, palm trees, Christmas tree. Um, yeah, I think that's a cloud. Yeah. Hmm. And then some nice sayings. So I think it's a lot of fun. And the product that we're going to use today is called embossing paste. See? And there is a thing that comes with 3 palette knives, but I'm just going to use this one. And then I'm using the note card memories and more note cards, and these are the small ones. So they measure 3 1/4, I think, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Let me double check. Yeah, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So what we're going to do first is we're going to just take this embossing paste and put so much. And I'm just going to spread it all over the front of the card. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's kind of nice when it has a little bit of smears to it and that it doesn't go all the way to the edge. That's okay. And then I want to use this last little bit. Now, it's important that when you're done, I'm going to actually do 2 because I want to use 2 different colors. So there's one. I'm just going to move it aside. And now, actually, I'm going to clean this off before I put my card in it. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I have card number 2, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Just spread the embossing paste on a little bit more. There, and we'll see what the difference is. This one has maybe a little bit less than the other one. And then it's important to do a couple of things. You need to wash your knife, okay? Otherwise it will dry hard and you won't be able to get it off. So you need to wash your knife and you need to put the lid back on. I like to put the metal part on, but I don't know if that makes a difference. Put the lid back on tightly and then also put it back in the bag because the stuff will harden, okay? You don't want it to harden. You've paid good money for it. You want it to last. So I'm going to clean the knife. Now the next thing we're going to do is take our embossing folder, and I put some grid paper on because this is going to get messy. And we're going to open it up, and on the side, I'm just going to feel this. No, on the side that's rougher, I'm going to put the ink, okay? So not on the side with the Stampin' Up! Label, but on the piece that feels rougher, like this side is smooth, this side is rough. So on the back part of the embossing folder, I'm going to use Pebbled Path, and we're going to ink it up. There. There we go. I should close it. And now we're going to press this embossing folder right into the paste. Let's see, move that aside. Here is my piece. And I'm just going to lay it on like so. Press, giving it a nice firm press. And then hold on to this side of your card and then lift it up. Just a minute. Ever so slowly. There. And the embossing paste did not stick to my folder, and that's really cool. And now we're going to let it dry. Now, what I think is a good idea, because what will happen, what has happened, is sometimes it starts to curve on you. So you can get a spritzer and make the back of your card wet. Otherwise, just kind of keep an eye on it. It's not so bad with this little one. But look at the texture on that. Isn't it great? It does exactly look like the mortar on a brick wall. So I'm pretty excited about this. So now I want to do one more. I want to try it with red. I grew up in a red brick house. Well, maybe not red, but I want to try. Okay, I'm going to wash this. So you know what? I thought we're going to see what the difference is. And not only am I going to use a different color, we're going to ink up the other side of the brick embossing folder just to see what the difference is. You might as well let me do your playing. And this might be more realistic, actually. Now the bricks are going to be red and the mortar will be white. There. So interesting. Here we go. We're laying it down. This one has less paste than the first one, I think. Here. And now here we come. You want to make sure that the bricks are kind of level, but it doesn't matter. Don't stress about it. Now give it a nice firm press. This is important. You only get one go at it. And don't worry about the embossing paste getting messy. Messy things can be a lot of fun. We like to play, don't we? I like to play. See how I'm pressing and then you can see those bricks? Okay. Looks good. So now we hold on to this side. I'm just using the side of my hand just in case I got ink on my fingers. And then we're carefully peeling it up. And there we go. All right. So this one looks like that smeared a little bit more. This looks cool too, doesn't it? But that's okay. We've got some nice brick images in there. Reminds me of a graffiti wall. So we're going to let that dry. This has to dry completely before you can start doing anything else with it. Now I have a Stampin' Spritzer here, and I'm just going to spritz the other side of the card so it doesn't curve. There. I'm putting it aside, and I'm doing the same thing with this one. There. And now before we get finishing the card, I'm going to show you my original. Okay, it's here. So this one is in the supply list that I mentioned. I used copper clay on the bricks. And then because the copper clay, when this embossing paste dries, it has a bit of a vanilla sheen to it. So I thought I would use a vanilla circle. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 3/8 inch circle punch and we're going to cut 2 of them. One in very vanilla and one in vellum. There. And now we are going to take a piece of white and we're going to stamp the truck. So I think we're going to stamp the truck in Memento. And my piece of white has been kicking around for a while. It's a little bit banged up. It's got a few marks on it. So this is going to be a vintage truck. There we go. And now we're going to take the inside of the truck, which is a different stamp. So just lay it down, pick it up with your block. And we're going to use Misty Moonlight. I chose Misty Moonlight because my father had a truck in the 50s, in the late 50s, early 60s that was like this, and it was blue. It wasn't quite this color, but it's close enough. I'm just going to stand up. There. I didn't want to get it wrong. That looks good. And then there's a cute little saying, and it says Farm Fresh. And I'm doing that in black. You could barely see it, but it's there. And then there's this stamp that is the wheels. And I don't like to do it in black because then it's too dark, but smoky slate is good. Of course, I put my smoky slate away. So, and then when you're doing this, the tires have to go at the bottom. And I'm going to stand again. If you line up the 2 dots for the inside of the tires, then you're going to get it right. So that looks good. And now we're going to punch it out. So there's our truck. And now when you get your punch, it's flat. To open it, you need to unlock it at the bottom, like so. Okay? And then you slide your cardstock in like this. And when it looks about right, then you kind of clamp down a little bit with your hand. And then you take two hands and you punch it. Okay, so here we have our truck. I haven't played with this yet to see what all the other pieces are for, but the truck is really the only one we need right now. And now we're going to take our white scrap and we're going to stamp a tree and our saying. But first the tree. So here's the tree. We'll lay it down and then pick it up with the block. I'm just going to use Pebbled Path because that's what I have here. My first card I used Early Espresso, so whatever here. And I'm going to do two so that I can show you something. Now we're going to use the filler image, and I really do have to clean this now. And I should shut my blue ink pad. Always close your ink pads when you're done because your card will fall into it or you will put your elbow in it. Something bad will happen. It's Murphy's Law. So take the time to close your ink pad and take the time to clean your stamps because you're going to forget and then you're going to stamp it into another color and then your ink pad isn't going to look so nice. If you ever do that, you can, and it's really, really bad, you can rinse your ink pad till all the color runs out and you can re-ink it again. So that's a cool thing to know. Here we go. So I think we're going to use Garden Green, okay? So Garden Green, and tap, tap, tap. And again, if you look, you just have that tree trunk going through the bottom, and then it works out perfectly. And there's the second one. So if you want a different color, you just stamp off. And now we do have to fussy cut that tree. And what I like to do is just take a blends to color in the trunk. Or a marker. You know what? My marker is closer, so I'm going, and it's retired. This is the soft suede. But it was close at hand, so that's what I'm going to use. There. And then we can decide, I'm just using the fine tip. The fine tip mark on of our markers usually dries out a lot quicker. You can use pliers to pull the nib out and then to put a few drops of re-inker in there. It does work. Okay. Just so you know. And now we're going to fussy cut our tree. There's no punch for the tree, which is too bad. I have Stampin' Up! Scissors somewhere, but they are not within reach, so I'm going to use these contraband scissors. They're not as good, but they're better than nothing. Is everyone as impatient as I am? You know what? I'm going to pause my video and I'm going to get my good scissors because this is crazy. So what I'm doing with this video that I never do is I'm going to share this video on YouTube. All your videos from Primetime are usually private, but I want to use this video to advertise for my other customers so that they know what they get in Primetime. So when you are a part of the Primetime group, you only pay $10 a month, but you get a PDF tutorial every month that's worth at least $15. And you get a private video every Thursday. So on Wednesday, I tell you what supplies I'm using, and on Thursday, I do the video. And it's really nice. People have told me, I started this group during COVID to give me some income because I couldn't do my classes in person. And people tell me that it got them through, that it was just a wonderful thing to do, so I kept doing it. Okay, what do we need next? We need our saying. And I think I'm going to do it in Pebbled Path instead of the copper clay because I'm using a different color scheme. And then you guys can tell me which one you like the best. So I'm stamping this in Pebbled Path, which is a nice vintage color. I like it a lot. I'm going to use a retired punch. I think it's retired, 1 1/4 inch. Oh, you know what? I need to pause this for a minute. My timer's going off. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So this 1 1/4 inch punch, I think it might be retired, but I know that you guys you don't throw away your punches, so you might have it still. There. So we have that, we have our tree, and now we're going to build our card. So remember, this is what it looked like. So it's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, the front size. So if you don't have the Memories and More card, then you could cut a piece of cardstock that is 6 1/2 inches by 4 1/4 inches and score it at 3 1/4. Okay. So let's take a look at our cards. Now I don't want to fold them yet because it's not perfectly dry. You do have to wait till it's dry. Okay, so there's the red one. And here is the pebbled path one. And you know what's interesting about the pebbled path one? Look at the speckles. I don't know if you guys can see it. It has a little bit of a green tinge to it. So that looks really cool. So I'm just going to put these aside for a minute. They're not dry yet, but we're going to build our focal point. So what we're going to do is take the vellum piece and it's going to go over top of the vanilla with just a little bit of an overlap here. And then this is going to go at the top. So what you need to know about vellum is that vellum, you can see through it. So you don't want to put your glue where it's going to show. So let's have a look. What happened to our truck? My truck went missing. There it is. Here is the blue truck. And then we're going to put the tree in the back, like so. Doesn't that look great? See, and this doesn't make it Christmas. It says Farm Fresh. They just went to buy a big tree, which is exciting. If you can afford to get a big tree and plant a big tree, it's so nice. There, liquid glue. And I'm just tucking the tree so that it's hanging over the edge. We're just going to lay that upside down. And the tree is going to get popped up. So I need to find my dimensionals. And we're just going to put a couple of dimensionals on the truck here. There. And I'm actually going to put that truck on the vellum circle now, and I'll tell you why. It's so that I know where to put the glue on the vellum circle. Oh, I'm having trouble. There we go. It's going to go like so. And so, and then this one's going to go like that. So I'm going to put the glue on here, and it's not getting popped up. There, like so. And now we're turning this vellum circle over, and I'm going to put some adhesive here, and here, and here. See, right where you can't see it. So now we're going to turn it around, and we're going to leave a little bit of, now I made a mess on that vellum circle, but that's okay. Let's see, it's just a piece of something. It's not permanent. So I have this, and I'm holding it like this because I accidentally put adhesive maybe a little further than I should have. Okay, so this is good. Now, I cannot put this on the card yet, but I want to lay it on just so that you guys can see. And I think you kind of want to wait to fold this till it's dry, but I'm not that patient, so I'm doing it anyway. Here, and then look. Just don't put this on yet for good. But it looks really nice with that color combination, don't you think? I like it a lot. Now let's see what it looks like on the red. Here. I'm not going to fold the red because it's even wetter. It looks great on the red as well. Look at that. I will take a picture of it later when I'm finished, and I will share that on the page. You know what? I couldn't wait. So I carefully folded it in half, and now take a look. That's going to go. See, I'm not that happy with this middle part, so that's where this is going to go. And I think it looks fantastic. So it's nice to play, and when you're doing it anyway, I like them all. And the gray one is going to look really nice too, the pebbled path. So I hope that you enjoyed this short video tutorial. I hope that you're inspired to join Primetime. I will put a link beneath the video. If you go to my blog, thepamperedstamper.com, then at the top it will say PDF tutorials, and it will also say, I think, services. If you click on that, then you'll get to Primetime or to my training group. Okay? Thank you so much. I hope you have a super day. I hope that you play with this technique, and please share what you do. Send me a picture. I love to see what you guys do as well. And have a super day. Bye.